the scorching underground industrial foundry, exceeding every single biological human boundary. My chest cavity contains a highly complex machinery, devoid of any soft, organic, natural greenery.
Heavy pistons pump the pressurized oil through my veins, governing the logic that my robotic mind contains. A meticulously constructed metallic internal engine, operating completely outside of any spiritual dimension. I lubricate the spinning cogs with a heavy grease, ensuring that the mechanical friction will finally cease. Winding up the central mainspring with a rusted key, unlocking the metallurgical engineering inside of me. My anatomy consists entirely of soldered copper pipes, a prototype exceeding all the standard human types. The boiler generates an overwhelming amount of steam, powering this incredibly rigid locomotive dream. Polishing the tarnished heavy alloy, a manufactured completely rigid toy, tightening the bolts and heavy screws, singing these industrial factory blues. Operating with the heavy brass heart, tearing the anatomical theories apart. A clockwork mechanism ticking inside, nowhere for the vulnerabilities to hide. Pumping synthetic fluids through the chest, surviving the ultimate metallurgical test. A completely emotionless ticking machine, the most rigid anatomy you have ever seen. The gears aggressively grind against the inner cage, representing a highly suppressed mechanical rage. I measure the internal pressure with a dial gauge, trapped inside this Victorian technological age. Sparks fly wildly from the central exhaust vent, revealing exactly how my mechanical energy is spent. A highly calibrated, perfectly measured output, with heavy iron anchors bolted to my metallic foot. Oxidation threatens to heavily corrode my framework, the only biological flaw that manages to lurk. I replace the broken valves with the brand new part, protecting the integrity of my manufactured heart. The rhythmic clicking replaces the standard pulse, a structural design that manages to heavily repulse the romantic notions of a soft biological love, constructed from the scrap metal gathered up above. Polishing the tarnished heavy alloy, a manufactured completely rigid toy, tightening the bolts and heavy screws, singing these industrial factory blues. Operating with the heavy brass heart, tearing the anatomical theories apart. A clockwork mechanism ticking inside, nowhere for the vulnerabilities to hide. Synthetic fluids through the chest, surviving the ultimate metallurgical test. A completely emotionless ticking machine, the most rigid anatomy you have ever seen. Have ever seen. Smell the waking dream, clink, clank, fill the tank, turn the wheel, solid steel, tick tock. Operating with the heavy brass heart, tearing the anatomical theories apart. A clockwork mechanism ticking inside, nowhere for the vulnerabilities to hide. Pumping synthetic fluids through the chest, surviving the ultimate metallurgical test. A completely emotionless ticking machine, the most rigid anatomy you have ever seen. The gears
turning, the coal stops burning, steam escapes, metallic shapes. A solitary candle casts a projection on the wall, creating an elongated shape that stands incredibly tall. An optical illusion lacking any physical substance, a highly deceptive, entirely monochromatic abundance.
I observe the grayscale profile
Imitating my stance, engaged in a highly elusive two-dimensional dance. The darkness completely swallows the vibrant hues, leaving only these deceptive psychological clues.
The street lamp angles my silhouette across the pavement, trapping my outline in a very strange enslavement. I walk forward, but the dark figure heavily distorts, engaging in these visual
Theatrical sorts of sports. The phantom follows my every single cautious step, a secretive companion that I have constantly kept, stretching absurdly across the brickwork facade. A deeply mysterious, entirely silent promenade, eclipsing the light with a physical form, deviating from the visual, colorful norm. A lack of illumination creates the auditoriography, playing a deceptive part, engaged in this elusive shadow dancing, a pantomime routine that is highly entrancing, intertwining shapes without any real touch. We are relying on the darkness far too much. An intangible waltz behind the opaque screen, the most mysterious spectacle ever to be seen, mimicking the gestures of the human frame, playing a highly secretive silhouette game.
The puppeteer manipulates the paper cutouts, eliciting the audience's enthusiastic shouts. The projector beams the shapes onto the hanging sheet, creating an entirely fabricated visual deceit. I trace the perimeter of your darkened contour, a highly ambiguous psychological detour. The mirrors fail to capture the specific trick. The lack of visibility makes the atmosphere thick. The lunar eclipse removes the final glowing beam, plunging the universe into a monochromatic dream. I reach out to touch the flat projected ghost, the intangible partner that fascinates me the most. We perform a ballet in the absence of the sun, a theatrical performance that is never truly done. The outlines blur and merge into a solid mass, an event that only occurs when the midnight pass, eclipsing the light with a physical form, deviating from the visual, colorful norm. A lack of illumination creates the auditoriography, playing a deceptive part, engaged in this elusive shadow dancing, a pantomime routine that is highly entrancing, intertwining shapes without any real touch. We are relying on the darkness far too much. An intangible waltz behind the opaque screen, the most mysterious spectacle ever to be seen, mimicking the gestures of the human frame, playing a highly secretive silhouette game.
close without any real touch. We are relying on the darkness far too much. And intangible walls behind the opaque screen, the most mysterious spectacle ever to be seen, mimicking the gestures of the human frame, playing a highly secretive silhouette game. Blow out the flame, end of the game. The darkness wins, the night begins. Flipping through the cardboard sleeves inside the thrift boutique, searching for an obscure, incredibly rare antique. The artwork on the cover is faded, yellow and torn, a forgotten masterpiece from before we were even born. I pull the black disc gently from its paper sleeve, discovering a musical treasure that I can barely believe. The format is completely analog, wonderfully authentic, a tangible piece of history, beautifully photogenic.
I wipe the surface gently with a velvet cleaning pad, rescuing the best auditory experience I ever had. Placing the pressing carefully onto the rotating platter, watching the circular motion is all that really matters. The needle drops downward into the microscopic trench, releasing a glorious sound that manages to thoroughly quench my immense thirst for an old school traditional beat, a remarkably warm sensation radiating down the street. Revolution spinning at 45, keeping the ancestral voices alive, spiraling inward toward the center label, vibrating across the wooden table, listening to this dusty vinyl spin, letting the authentic nostalgia begin, hissing gently in the background space, a beautifully unpolished retrograde. The grooves contain a myriad of secrets, a classic pressing that everyone respects, crackling loudly with every rotation, a timeless analog infatuation. The track skips slightly over a tiny surface scratch, but the underlying melody is impossible to match. I read the liner notes printed on the back cover, learning about the studio musicians and the tragic lover who inspired the lyricist to write this specific tune, recorded under the glow of a 1960s moon. The fidelity is raw, unfiltered, and intensely real, capturing exactly how the original performers feel. We sit cross-legged on the shag carpet floor, enjoying the ambience and asking for nothing more. The turntable mechanism hums with a quiet drive, making the apartment feel magically alive. A warm crackle punctuates the quiet instrumental break, a charming imperfection that digital audio cannot fake. I flip the record over to experience side B, sharing this vintage auditory journey exclusively with me. Revolution spinning at 45, keeping the ancestral voices alive, spiraling inward toward the center label, vibrating across the wooden table, listening to this dusty vinyl spin, letting the authentic nostalgia begin, hissing gently in the background space, a beautifully unpolished retrograde. The grooves contain a myriad of secrets, a classic pressing that everyone respects, crackling loudly with every rotation, a timeless analog infatuation.
in the vintage turntable to flawlessly move. The analog hiss provides a highly comforting bed for the sophisticated melodies running through my head. The vacuum tubes inside the amplifier begin to glow, producing an incredibly rich, continuous audio flow. I adjust the equalization knobs on the stereo rack, ensuring that this beautiful composition never lacks.
The drummer firmly establishes the permanent pocket, locking the percussion tightly inside the socket. No rush in the tempo and absolutely no dragging behind. A meticulously calculated metric that perfectly aligns. I press my ear against the wooden speaker cone, analyzing the magnificent texture of the baritone. The synchronization of the rhythm section is precise, a flawlessly executed musical slice of paradise. The metronome swings with a constant tick. The guitarist executes a masterful trick, maintaining the pace with absolute grace, securing our spot in the sonic space, keeping the frequency beautifully jazz steady. The ensemble is persistently, permanently ready, a seamless progression of sophisticated chords, winning all the prestigious awards, sailing smoothly upon a constant rhythm, the most reliable performance you could ever crave. Unyielding, unchanging, dependably cool, following every single orchestrational rule. The brassing sings with zero mistakes, delivering perfection on all the studio takes. The pianist glides across the ivory keys with an unprecedented, unbelievable level of ease. The bass frequencies anchor the foundation down, the tightest, most cohesive quartet in the town. We calibrate the microphones to capture the room, eliminating any harshness or unnecessary boom. The fidelity of the recording is spectacularly clear, pleasing the sophisticated, highly critical ear. The magnetic tape captures the authentic sound, the most professional musicians to ever be found. I catalog the album inside my extensive library, a phenomenal addition to the auditory sanctuary. The spindle rotates at 33 revolutions, providing the ultimate rhythmic resolutions. The metronome swings with a constant tick. The guitarist executes a masterful trick, maintaining the pace with absolute grace, securing our spot in this sonic space, keeping the frequency beautifully jazz steady. The ensemble is persistently, permanently ready, a seamless progression of sophisticated chords, winning all the prestigious awards, sailing smoothly upon the constant rhythmic wave. The most reliable performance you could ever crave, unyielding, unchanging, dependably cool, following every single orchestrational rule. Never wavering from the fundamental beat, a remarkably consistent, unbelievable feat. The groove is cemented, the foundation is strong and absolutely flawless. Uninterrupted song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it tight, give them more. Keeping the frequency beautifully jazz steady. The ensemble is persistently, permanently ready, a seamless progression of sophisticated chords, winning all the prestigious awards, sailing smoothly upon a constant rhythmic wave. The most reliable performance you could ever crave, unyielding, unchanging, dependably cool, following every single orchestrational rule. Fade the track, do not look back. The record ends to all my
Carefully placing the diamond stylus upon the groove, commanding the vintage turntable to flawlessly move. The analog hiss provides a highly comfy bed for the sophisticated melodies running through my head.
The vacuum tubes inside the amplifier begin to glow,
producing an incredibly rich, continuous audio flow. I adjust the equalization knobs on the stereo rack, ensuring that this beautiful composition never lacks.
The drummer firmly establishes the permanent pocket,
locking the percussion tightly inside the socket.
no rush in the tempo and absolutely no
Dragging behind a meticulously calculated metric that perfectly aligns.
I press my ear against the wooden speaker cone,
Analyzing the magnificent texture of the baritone.
the synchronization of the rhythm section is precise,
A flawlessly executed musical slice of paradise. The metronome swings with a constant tick. The guitarist executes a masterful trick, maintaining the pace with absolute grace, securing our spot in this sonic space, keeping the frequency beautifully jazzed. The ensemble is persistently, permanently ready, a seamless progression of sophisticated chords, winning all the prestigious acoustic awards, sailing smoothly upon a constant rhythmic wave, the most reliable performance you could ever crave, unyielding, unchanging, dependably cool, following every single orchestrational rule.
The brass section harmonizes with zero mistakes, delivering perfection on all the studio takes. The pianist glides across the ivory keys with an unprecedented, unbelievable level of ease.
The bass frequencies anchor the foundation down, the tightest, most cohesive quartet in the town. We calibrate the microphones to capture the room, eliminating any harshness or unnecessary boom. The fidelity of the recording is spectacularly clear, pleasing the sophisticated, highly critical ear. The magnetic tape captures the authentic sound, the most professional musicians to ever be found. I catalog the album inside my extensive library, a phenomenal addition to the auditory sanctuary. The spindle rotates at 33 revolutions, providing the ultimate rhythmic resolution. The metronome swings with a constant tick. The guitarist executes a masterful trick, maintaining the pace with absolute grace, securing our spot in this sonic space, keeping the frequency beautifully jazzed. The ensemble is persistently, permanently ready, a seamless progression of sophisticated chords, winning all the prestigious acoustic awards, sailing smoothly upon a constant rhythmic wave, the most reliable performance you could ever crave, unyielding, unchanging, dependably cool, following every single orchestrational rule. Consistent, unbelievable feat. The groove is cemented, the foundation is strong, an absolutely flawless, uninterrupted song. 1, 2 keep it tight, give them more. Keeping the frequency beautifully jacked. The ensemble is persistently, permanently ready. A seamless progression of sophisticated chords, winning all the prestigious acoustic awards. Sailing smoothly upon a constant rhythmic wave. The most reliable performance you could ever crave. Unyielding, unchanging, dependably cool, following every single orchestration rule. Favorite track, do not look back. The record, and to all my friends. Dandelions pushing aggressively through the cracked concrete, surviving the harshness of this highly polluted street. The asphalt tries to completely smother the green shoot, but nothing can destroy this remarkably stubborn root. I navigate the crowded sidewalks of the financial district, where the municipal regulations are incredibly strict. A tiny blossom blooms directly beneath the towering skyscraper, defying the restrictive blueprints drawn on the architect's paper.
The subway train violently rattles the pedestrian pavement, trapped inside this massive architectural enslavement. I observe the ivy climbing up the brickwork of the alleyway, reclaiming the urban territory day by gritty day. The graffiti murals mimic the vines that we desperately lack, bringing the vibrant colors of the natural ecosystem back. We are metropolitan survivors dwelling in the smoggy haze, navigating our way through this complex municipal maze. Pavement cracking under the immense pressure, finding a highly unconventional natural treasure. Steel and glass blocking out the morning light, but the vegetation refuses to forfeit the fight. Sprouting these resilient urban roots, wearing our scuffed heavy leather boots. A concrete jungle where the wild things grow, fighting the metropolitan undertow. Nature reclaims the abandoned parking lot, flourishing exactly in the hardest spot. A botanical rebellion in the city square, breathing the highly contaminated air. The sanitation trucks rumble past the neon corner store, while the municipal pigeons scavenge the littered floor. I plant a tiny seed inside a rusted coffee tin, determined to let the organic biological process begin. The skyscrapers cast massive, intimidating geometric shadows, replacing the beautiful scenery of the rural meadows. But the subterranean networks are slowly expanding wide, a subterranean revolution that the mayor cannot hide. We cultivate a rooftop garden above the noisy traffic jam, refusing to participate in the corporate synthetic scam. The smog attempts to choke the delicate sprouting leaves, but the resilient flora miraculously adapts and achieves a remarkable victory against the industrial pollution. The ultimate beautifully organic metropolitan solution. I harvest tomatoes grown beside the towering billboard sign, intersecting the natural world with the strictly urban line. Pavement cracking under the immense pressure, finding a highly unconventional natural treasure. Steel and glass blocking out the morning light, but the vegetation refuses to forfeit the fight. Sprouting these resilient urban roots, wearing our scuffed heavy leather boots. A concrete jungle where the wild things grow, fighting the metropolitan undertow. Nature reclaims the abandoned parking lot, flourishing exactly in the hardest spot.
Civilization claim the throne. The metropolis will eventually crumble to dust, returning the architecture to ruin and rust. Throw down, break rock, city block, tick-tock, watch it fall. Sprouting these resilient urban roots, wearing off scuffed, heavy leather boots. A concrete jungle where the wild things grow, fighting the metropolitan undertow. Nature reclaims the abandoned parking lot, flourishing exactly in the hardest spot. A botanical rebellion in the city square, breathing the highly contaminated air. Concrete breaks, the city shakes, roots go deep while you sleep. Concrete breaks. A solitary candle casts a projection on the wall, creating an elongated shape that stands incredibly tall. An optical illusion like in any physical substance, a highly deceptive, entirely monochromatic abundance. I observe the grayscale profile imitating my stance, engaged in a highly elusive two-dimensional dance. The darkness completely swallows the vibrant hues, leaving only these deceptive psychological clues.
The street lamp angles my silhouette across the pavement, trapping my outline in a very strange enslavement. I walk forward, but the dark figure heavily distorts, engaging in these visual theatrical sorts of sports.
The phantom follows my every single cautious step, a secretive companion that I have constantly kept, stretching absurdly across the brickwork facade, a deeply mysterious, entirely silent promenade. Eclipsing the light with a physical form, deviating from the visual, colorful norm. A lack of illumination, choreography playing a deceptive part, engaged in this elusive shadow dancing, a pantomime routine that is highly entrancing, intertwining shapes without any real touch. We are relying on the darkness far too much, an intangible walks behind the opaque screen, the most mysterious spectacle ever to be seen, mimicking the gestures of the human frame, playing a highly secretive silhouette game.
The puppeteer manipulates the paper cutout, soliciting the audience's enthusiastic shouts. A projector beams the shapes onto the hanging sheet, creating an entirely fabricated visual deceit. I trace the perimeter of your darkened contour, a highly ambiguous psychological detour. The mirrors fail to capture this specific trick. The lack of visibility makes the atmosphere thick. The lunar eclipse removes the final glowing beam, plunging the universe into a monochromatic dream. I reach out to touch the flat, projected ghost, the intangible partner that fascinates me the most. We perform a ballet in the absence of the sun, a theatrical performance that has never truly done. The outlines blur, emerge into a solid mass, an event that only occurs when the midnight pass, eclipsing the light with a physical form, deviating from the visual, colorful norm. A lack of illumination, the art, a choreography playing a deceptive part, engaged in this elusive shadow dancing, a pantomime routine that is highly entrancing, intertwining shapes without any real touch. We are relying on the darkness far too much, an intangible walks behind the opaque screen, the most mysterious spectacle ever to be
mimicking the gestures of the human frame, playing a highly secretive silhouette game. The projector bulb suddenly flickers and dies, removing the illusion from our fascinated eyes. We blend entirely into the surrounding pitch black, with absolutely zero capacity to ever turn back. Sneak left, slide right, hide from the light, flat shade, great escape. Engage in this elusive shadow dance, and about to learn routines, highly entrancing, intertwining shapes without any real touch. We are relying on the darkness far too much, an intangible waltz behind the opaque screen, the most mysterious spectacle ever to be seen, mimicking the gestures of the human frame, playing a highly secretive silhouette game. Blow out the flame, end of the game. The darkness wins, the night begins. Standing in the center of an entirely abandoned estate, a massive architectural wonder that suffered a terrible fate. The marble floors are absolutely bare and brutally cold, reflecting the lonely story that has never been told.
I shout, my vocal lasers easing up toward the vaulted ceiling, generating a deeply uncomfortable, isolated feeling. The acoustics magnify every single solitary breath, a massive empty mansion simulating the quiet of death. My leather boots tap loudly across the grand foyer, creating a terrifying noise that I constantly abhor. There is absolutely zero furniture to absorb the sound, the most deserted interior to ever be found. I call out your specific name into the spiraling stairwell, trapped completely inside this vacant, luxurious hell. The sound waves bounce against the elaborate plaster molding, revealing the absolute emptiness that this house is holding, rebounding off the completely bare walls, traveling down the terrifyingly vast halls, a vacuum of human presence and warmth, facing the terribly lonely quiet storm, listening to these haunting hollow echoes, following everywhere the lonely spirit goes, a reverberating reminder of the empty space, haunting this magnificently deserted place. The amplitude multiplies in a massive room, a booming declaration of our quiet doom. We are utterly surrounded by the returning noise. The architecture entirely destroys our poise. The crystal chandelier trembles from the acoustic shock. I stare intensely at the broken stationary clock, My whispered apologies travel all the way upstairs. Nobody in this gigantic unfurnished palace cares.
The frequencies collide and merge into a ghostly hum, waiting for the promised visitors who will never come. I clap my hands just to measure the terrible delay, watching the sonic energy slowly deteriorate away.
The grand ballroom is entirely devoid of any guests, putting my psychological endurance to the greatest tests.
I sing a mournful lullaby into the dining corridor.
The volume feels 10 times louder than it was before. The reflection of the tone is flawlessly precise, a terrifyingly accurate acoustic device. We cannot hide from the sounds that we create inside this massive, horrifyingly empty real estate. Rebounding off the completely bare walls, traveling down the terrifyingly vast halls, a vacuum of human presence and warmth, facing the terribly lonely quiet storm. Listening to these haunting hollow echoes, following everywhere the lonely spirit goes, a reverberating reminder of the empty space haunting this magnificently deserted place. The amplitude multiplies in the massive room, a booming declaration of our quiet doom. We are utterly surrounded by the returning noise. The architecture entirely destroys our poise. Trap driving was totally insane. Let the decibels finally drop down to zero. There is no rescue and absolutely no hero. Shout out, hear it bounce. Every word, every ounce, coming back. Fade to black. Listening to these haunting hollow echoes, following everywhere the lonely spirit goes, a reverberating reminder of the empty space haunting this magnificently deserted place. The amplitude multiplies in the massive room, a booming declaration of our quiet doom. We are utterly surrounded by the returning noise. The architecture entirely destroys our poise. But nothing is there, just empty air. Close the door, speak no more. The spectacular horizon transforms into a brilliant apricot hue, a magnificent celestial painting entirely ignored by you. Streaks of magenta stretch broadly across the stratospheric dome, while you stare relentlessly at your glowing mobile phone. The clouds are burning with an incredibly vivid fiery pink,
but you are far too distracted
to even pause and think.
A masterpiece of nature occurring right above our heads.
Wow,
we stubbornly focus on our foolish arguments instead.
sitting oblivious upon the splintered wooden back porch,
while the evening sky lights a magnificent atmospheric torch. I complain bitterly about the monotonous events of my day,
letting this unparalleled visual phenomenon completely slip away.
The watercolor canvas shifts into a deep, majestic violet, a breathtaking natural display that remains entirely silent. We squander the beautiful moment searching for a flaw,
failing to appreciate this twilight with appropriate awe.
Brilliant colors fading into the gray, another unappreciated squandered day. Blind to the majestic painted sky, watching the glorious daylight die, experiencing these tragically wasted sunsets, accumulating a mountain of visual regrets. The universe offers a spectacularly free show, but our ungrateful heads are tilted far too low, ignoring the magnificent painted atmosphere, refusing to acknowledge the beauty right here. A glorious panorama that we utterly neglect, failing to show the twilight its proper respect.
The celestial artist slowly packs away that cosmic brush as the neighborhood descends into a deeply ignorant hush.
I pace furiously across the incredibly narrow backyard lawn,
complaining about a trivial problem since the early dawn.
The golden hour provides a highly flattering, gorgeous light, but my pessimistic attitude ruins the spectacular sight. I prioritize my grievances over the phenomenal view,
missing the miraculous transition from the orange to the blue.
The final rays of daylight catch the leaves on the oak tree, a remarkably stunning spectacle that I entirely fail to see. I am too busy drafting a highly vindictive, angry text, constantly worrying about whatever disaster happens next.
The magnificent gradients dissolve into a dark and navy.
My emotional state remains incredibly turbulent and wavy.
We sacrifice the momentary glimpse of
absolute perfection for a highly unnecessary, incredibly toxic deflection. Brilliant colors fading into the gray, another unappreciated squandered day. Blind to the majestic painted sky, watching the glorious daylight die, experiencing these tragically wasted sunsets, accumulating a mountain of visual regrets. The universe offers a spectacularly free show, but our ungrateful heads are tilted far too low, ignoring the magnificent painted atmosphere, refusing to acknowledge the beauty right here. A glorious panorama that we utterly neglect, failing to show the twilight its proper respect. Disappear, the most magnificent moment of the year. Open your eyes and observe the display before the darkness takes it all away.
Orange, yellow, purple, black. Look up, never back.
Experiencing these tragically wasted sunsets, accumulating a mountain of visual regrets. The universe offers a spectacularly free show, but our ungrateful heads are tilted far too low, ignoring the magnificent painted atmosphere, refusing to acknowledge the beauty right here. A glorious panorama that we utterly neglect, failing to show the twilight its proper respect. The sky is dark, missed the mark, stars appear. We are blind here. the precipice of a magnificent ravine, the deepest geological formation I have ever seen. I shout my vocalizers directly into the void. My auditory senses are instantaneously overjoyed
by the exact replication returning seconds later. A sonic reflection from the massive crater. The sound waves bounce against the granite cliff, a highly repetitive, acoustic, majestic gift. The physics of the reverberation are highly profound, a spectacular phenomenon of returning sound. I calculate the distance by the delay of the tone, feeling incredibly small, insignificantly alone. The amplitude decays with every single bounce, losing a fraction of a decibel with every ounce. An auditory mirage playing tricks upon my ear, a fading frequency that I strain heavily to hear. The trajectory of the noise rebounds, a cyclical loop of familiar sounds, traveling across the gigantic expanse. A repetitive, invisible acoustic dance, forever exhausted from chasing echoes, following the path where the audio goes. A trailing voice that heavily repeats, bouncing loudly across the canyon streets, grasping at the ghosts of a spoken word, the most repetitive occurrence ever heard. A rebounding frequency that slowly fades, lost inside the geological arcades. We navigate the cavern using sonar pings, listening to how the subterranean ceiling rings. The delay pedal captures the guitar's initial chord, storing the information upon the circuit board. It loops the phrase into an infinite swirling mass, a cascading waterfall up your acoustic glass. I listen to the historical remnants of my voice, repeating indefinitely without any other choice.
Entering a dome of the whispering gallery, a magnificent display of architectural majesty. I murmur a secret against the curved limestone. The acoustics carry it directly to your specific zone. The reflection is flawless, crisp and incredibly clear, delivering my hidden message directly to your ear. A cathedral of perfectly calculated audio bounce, where the geometry amplifies every single pronounce. The trajectory of the noise rebounds, a cyclical loop of familiar sounds, traveling across the gigantic expanse. A repetitive, invisible acoustic dance, forever exhausted from chasing echoes, following the path where the audio goes. A trailing voice that heavily repeats, bouncing loudly across the canyon streets, grasping at the ghosts of a spoken word, the most repetitive occurrence ever heard. A rebounding frequency that slowly fades, lost inside the magical arcades. The sound dissipates, the canyon waits, silence at last. The echoes have passed. Climbing the creaking staircase to the darkened attic floor, pushing past the cobwebs on the heavy wooden door, I discovered the acoustic instrument beneath the moldy sheet, a forgotten piece of history lying right beside my feet. The copper wiring is entirely coated in a nasty orange crust, buried underneath the decade of accumulated dust. I brushed the dirt away to inspect the massive damage done. A beautiful creation ruled entirely by the lack of sun.
I grip the tuning pegs, but they refuse to budge or turn. A harsh reminder of the difficult lessons we must learn. The oxidation eats away at the tightly coiled steel, changing the fundamental way this wooden body feels. I apply a drop of lubricant to loosen up the joint, but forcing this connection feels completely beside the point. The neck is severely warped from the humidity and neglect, the structural failure that I totally failed to properly protect. Tension building on the fragile bridge, fingers scraping down the jagged ridge, ignoring the tetanus and the grime, attempting to rewind the hands of time. Plucking these incredibly rusty strings, listening to what the decay finally brings. A harsh, abrasive and unpolished vibration, the absolute pinnacle of our deterioration. Screeching loudly with a metallic whine, crossing a very dangerous jagged line. No smooth melodies exist in this domain, just the scraping sound of historical pain. The lowy wire suddenly snaps and whips across my hand, a violent reaction that I did not initially plan. The remaining five are buzzing against the silver frets, a terrifying symphony of our most profound regrets. I tried to strum a major chord, but it comes out completely sour, enduring this terrible dissonance for another brutal hour. The sound all breathes out the highly suffocating stale air, demonstrating the heavy toll of our terrible wear and tear. The lacquer is peeling entirely off the hollow frame. Nothing about this resonance will ever be the same. I twist the machine head until the gears violently strip, watching my ultimate control completely and utterly slip. The friction burns the calluses directly off my thumb, leaving my entire appendage temporarily numb. We cannot salvage this horribly degraded, ruined gear. The deterioration is spectacularly severe. Tension building on the fragile bridge, fingers scraping down the jagged ridge, ignoring the tetanus and the grime, attempting to rewind the hands of time. Oh, plucking these incredibly rusty strings, listening to what the decay finally brings. A harsh, abrasive and unpolished vibration, the absolute pinnacle of our deterioration. Screeching loudly with a metallic whine, crossing a very dangerous jagged line. No smooth melodies exist in this domain, just the scraping sound of historical pain.
historical pain. Put it away, end of the play, lock the case, leave this place. The porcelain vase slipped right through my trembling hands, crashing violently upon the tiled floor where it currently stands.
A million tiny fragments
Scatter across the kitchen space, a terrible disaster unfolding at a remarkably rapid pace.
I stared downward at the disastrous,
messy result, feeling the undeniable weight of my own clumsy fault.
The morning light catches the incredibly sharp edges.
A dangerous obstacle course formed on the window ledges.
I fetched the yellow broom and the plastic dustpan, trying to clean this hazardous situation as best as I can,
sweeping the transparent splinters into a little pile, frowning intensely without a single solitary smile.
You must put on your thick-soled shoes immediately, otherwise this will end in a medical emergency. The brittle shards are hiding within the carpet threads,
a miniature minefield right next to our beds. Fragility exposed in a singular second, a sudden catastrophe nobody reckoned. A beautiful object reduced to debris, a terrifying fragmented reality, walking cautiously around shattered glass, waiting for the terrible danger to pass, reflecting our faces in a broken mosaic, a situation that feels intensely archaic. Every piece represents a fractured word, the sharpest argument we have ever heard, treading lightly to avoid the severe cut. The door to our safety is abruptly shut.
The mirror in the hallway suffered a similar blow. 7 years of bad luck is all I currently know. I examine my distorted reflection in the cracked pane, a visual representation of our psychological strain. We are surrounded by the remnants of breaking things, listening to the awful sound that the destruction brings. I meticulously pick up the tiniest slivers with a wet towel, while the neighbor's dog begins a terrifying, ominous howl.
The crystal goblet tipped over during our frantic fight, adding more dangerous litter to this awful night. A transparent weapon waiting to slice into my heel. You have absolutely no idea how vulnerable I feel. We cannot easily glue these microscopic pieces together, a permanent damage that we must somehow weather. The vacuum cleaner rolls to suck up the invisible threat, the most disastrous, messy evening that we have had yet. Fragility exposed in a singular second, a sudden catastrophe nobody reckoned. The beautiful object reduced to debris, a terrifying fragmented reality, walking cautiously around shattered glass, waiting for the terrible danger to pass, reflecting our faces in a broken mosaic, a situation that feels intensely archaic. Every piece represents a fractured word, the sharpest argument we have ever heard, treading lightly to avoid the severe cut. The door to our safety is abruptly shut. sweep the remnants into the bin. A disastrous loss where nobody wins. Sweep it up, broken cup, watch your toes, there it goes. Tiny shards, scattered cards. Walking cautiously around shattered glass, waiting for the terrible danger to pass. Reflecting our faces in a broken mosaic, a situation that feels intensely archaic. Every piece represents a fractured word, the sharpest argument we have ever heard. Treading lightly to avoid the severe cut. The door to our safety is abruptly shut. Danger clear, do not fear. Throw it out, end the shout. Standing in the center of an entirely abandoned estate, a massive architectural wonder that suffered a terrible fate. The marble floors are absolutely bare and brutally cold, reflecting the lonely story that has never been told. I shout my vocalizers seasons up toward the vaulted ceiling, generating a deeply uncomfortable, isolated feeling. The acoustics magnify every single solitary breath, a massive empty mansion simulating the quiet of death.
My leather boots tap loudly across the grand foyer, creating a terrifying noise that I constantly abhor. There is absolutely zero furniture to absorb the sound, the most deserted interior to ever be found. I call out your specific name into the spiraling stairwell, trapped completely inside this vacant, luxurious hell. The sound waves bounce against the elaborate plaster molding, revealing the absolute emptiness that this house is holding. Rebounding off the completely bare walls, traveling down the terrifyingly vast halls, a vacuum of human presence and warmth, facing the terribly lonely quiet storm. Listening to these haunting, hollow echoes, following everywhere the lonely spirit goes, a reverberating reminder of the empty space haunting this magnificently deserted place. The amplitude multiplies in the massive room, a booming declaration of our quiet doom. We are utterly surrounded by the returning noise. The architecture entirely destroys our poise. The crystal chandelier trembles from the acoustic shock. I stare intensely at the broken stationary clock. My whispered apologies travel all the way upstairs. Nobody in this gigantic unfurnished palace cares. The frequencies collide and merge into a ghostly hum, waiting for the promised visitors who will never come. I clap my hands just to measure the terrible delay, watching the sonic energy slowly deteriorate away. The grand ballroom is entirely devoid of any guests, putting my psychological endurance to the greatest tests. I sing a mournful lullaby into the dining corridor. The volume feels 10 times louder than it was before. The reflection of the tone is flawlessly precise, a terrifyingly
accurate acoustic device. We cannot hide from the sounds that we create inside this massive, horrifyingly empty real estate. Rebounding off the completely bare walls, traveling down the terrifyingly vast halls, a vacuum of human presence and warmth, facing the terribly lonely quiet storm, listening to these haunting hollow echoes, following everywhere the lonely spirit goes, a reverberating reminder of the empty space haunting this magnificently deserted place. The amplitude multiplies in the massive room, a booming declaration of our quiet doom. We are utterly surrounded by the returning noise. The architecture entirely destroys our poise. The decibels finally drop down to zero. There is no rescue and absolutely no hero. Shout out, hear it bounce, every word, every ounce, coming back, fade to black. Listening to these haunting hollow echoes, following everywhere the lonely spirit goes, a reverberating reminder of the empty space haunting this magnificently deserted place. The amplitude multiplies in the massive room, a booming declaration of our quiet doom. We are utterly surrounded by the returning noise. The architecture entirely destroys our poise. Nothing is there, just empty air. Close the door, speak no more. Pushing aggressively through the cracked concrete, surviving the harshness of this highly polluted street. The asphalt tries to completely smother the green shoot, but nothing can destroy this remarkably stubborn root. I navigate the crowded sidewalks of the financial district, where the municipal regulations are incredibly strict. A tiny blossom blooms directly beneath the towering skyscraper, defying the restrictive blueprints drawn on the architect's paper.
The subway train violently rattles the pedestrian pavement, trapped inside this massive architectural enslavement. I observe the ivy climbing up the brickwork of the alleyway, reclaiming urban territory day by greedy day. The graffiti murals mimic the vines that we desperately lack, bringing the vibrant colors of the natural ecosystem back. We are metropolitan survivors dwelling in the smoggy haze, navigating our way through this complex municipal maze. Pavement cracking under the immense pressure, finding a highly unconventional natural treasure. Steel and glass trucks rumble past the neon corner store, while the municipal pigeons scavenge the littered floor. I plant a tiny seed inside a rusty coffee tin, determined to let the organic biological process begin. The skyscrapers cast massive, intimidating geometric shadows, replacing the beautiful scenery of the rural meadows. But the subterranean networks are slowly expanding wide, a subterranean revolution that the mayor
cannot hide. We cultivate a rooftop garden above the noisy traffic jam, refusing to participate in the corporate synthetic scam. The smog attempts to choke the delicate sprouting leaves, but the resilient flora miraculously adapts and achieves a remarkable victory against the industrial pollution, the ultimate beautifully organic metropolitan solution. I harvest tomatoes grown beside the tower and billboard sign, intersecting the natural world with the strictly urban line. Pavement cracking under the immense pressure, finding a highly unconventional natural treasure. Steel and glass blocking out the morning light, but the vegetation refuses to forfeit the fight. Sprouting these resilient urban roots, wearing our stuffed heavy leather boots. A concrete jungle where the wild things grow, fighting the metropolitan undertow. Nature reclaims the abandoned parking lot, flourishing exactly in the hardest spot. A botanical rebellion in the city square, breathing the highly contaminated air. Tear down the bridges, smash the stone, let the wild vegetation claim the throne. The metropolis will eventually crumble to dust, return the architecture to ruin and rust. Drill it down, break rock, city block, tick tock, grow tall, watch it fall. Sprouting these resilient urban roots, wearing our stuffed heavy leather boots. A concrete jungle where the wild things grow, fighting the metropolitan undertow. Nature reclaims the abandoned parking lot, flourishing exactly in the hardest spot. A botanical rebellion in the city square, breathing the highly contaminated air. Concrete breaks, the city shakes. Roots go deep while you sleep. Strolling barefoot through the highly fertile agricultural grove, finding an incredibly peaceful hidden botanical cove. The branches sag heavily beneath the weight of the ripe fruit, a magnificent harvest originating from the deepest earth root.
The equatorial winds carry a remarkably sticky sweet scent,
a beautifully natural environment where my afternoon is spent.
I reach upwards to pluck a vibrant
Yellow-red sphere, the most delicious offering of this entire harvest year.
The trade winds blow gently across the verdant coastal farm, protecting the rural villages from any environmental harm.
I slice the thick skin with a highly sharpened pocket knife,
embracing the simplicity of this this incredibly agrarian life. The orange nectar drips
generously down my bearded chin,
a sugary reward for the agricultural labor
I am engaged in. We sit comfortably beneath the vast protective leafy shade, enjoying the most perfect afternoon that nature ever made.
A deeply aromatic,
Fruity perfume
making the entire
botanical garden bloom. The natural sweetness permeates the air, eliminating every single worldly care. Swaying gently in this mango breeze, finding an absolute equatorial ease. The incredibly sweet scent of the harvest, providing a profoundly relaxing groove. Rest the sugar is ever flowing through the leaves, a botanical blessing that everyone receives. Breathing in the highly concentrated nectar, the most beautiful agricultural sector.
I weave a large basket from the flexible dried palm fronds, gathering the fallen produce beside the local
Muddy palms.
The villagers sing a highly uplifting traditional folk song, a deeply communal space where we
all perfectly belong.
The citrusy aroma mixes flawlessly with the salty ocean air, a wonderfully fragrant combination beyond any compare. We share the bounty with every single passing neighborhood friend, hoping this extraordinarily peaceful
Summer will never end. The sticky residue coats my fingertips with a golden glaze. Navigating through this remarkably fragrant tropical maze, I press the soft flesh directly against my smiling lips, while the joyful reggae rhythm heavily sways my hips. A flock of exotic parrots squawks enthusiastically above, celebrating this environment of agricultural earthy love. The breeze rustles the foliage with a highly satisfying sound, the greatest, most abundant orchard to ever be found.
a deeply aromatic,
Fruity perfume making the entire botanical garden bloom. The natural sweetness permeates the air, eliminating every single worldly care. Swaying gently in this mango breeze, finding an absolute equatorial ease. The incredibly sweet scent of the harvest, providing a profoundly relaxing rural rest. The sugar is ever blowing through the leaves, a botanical blessing that everyone receives. Breathing in the highly concentrated nectar, the most beautiful agricultural sector. Taste the sunshine captured in the skin. Let the deeply satisfying feast begin. The earth provides a wonderfully sweet treat, making our tropical existence complete. Reach high, pull down sweetest fruit in the town. Bite it, taste the sun, swaying gently in this mango breeze. Finding an absolute equatorial ease. The incredibly sweet scent of the harvest, providing a profoundly relaxing rural rest. The sugar is ever blowing through the leaves, a botanical blessing that everyone receives. Breathing in the highly concentrated nectar, the most beautiful agricultural